What if I told you, chosen one, that your presence speaks louder than your words ever could? What if I told you that before you even open your mouth, feminine women already feel you, not in their minds, but in their bodies, in their breath, in the quiet places where safety is either known or denied? What if I told you that the reason they soften in your presence is not because of what you do, but because of what you have become? Your presence is a language, and it does not need sound. It does not need performance. It does not need permission. It moves through the air like an unseen current, steady and undeniable. When you enter a space, there is no need to demand attention, no need to prove yourself, no need to posture. Your essence already carries a gravity that bends the atmosphere, not through force, but through stillness, not through loudness, but through depth. She feels it without asking for explanation. She feels it in the patience in your eyes, in the calmness in your breath, in the way you stand without rushing, without seeking approval, without reaching for validation. And that feeling tells her more than 1,000 promises could. It tells her she can rest. It tells her she can release. It tells her she does not have to guard herself with you. Because your safety is not a costume you wear, it is the reality you embody. She has met many men who spoke of strength, but collapsed when tested. Men who spoke of love, but carried hunger instead of reverence. Men who reached for her body, but ignored her soul. And then she meets you, and everything feels different. You do not flinch when her emotions rise. You do not run when her softness asks if you can contain it. You do not fall apart when her storms swirl, because you have already faced storms of your own, and you did not run. You sat in the fire until it refined you. You sat in silence until it became your anchor. You faced your shadows until they no longer had power over you. That is why she feels safe. Your energy does not beg for attention. It does not shout for recognition. It hums at a frequency only her heart can hear. It is not the false confidence of performance. It is not a mask worn to impress. It is vibration. It is fullness. It is truth. And her body knows it. That is why her shoulders drop when you arrive. That is why her jaw unclenches. That is why her breath deepens. Her nervous system has learned to be on guard. But in your presence, it remembers what safety feels like. This is why she does not need to ask if she can trust you. She knows. She knows because your restraint proves more than your words ever could. You are not consumed with getting her to say yes. You are consumed with being worthy of her yes. You do not pursue with entitlement. You pursue with devotion. And devotion does not need to scream. Devotion is not a performance. Devotion is consistency, patience, reverence. Your sexual energy does not spill recklessly anymore. It does not leak out in glances, in desperation, in words that try too hard. It lives within you like a sacred flame contained in stone, alive, burning, but controlled. It does not consume. It warms. It does not demand. It protects. It does not prey. It blesses. And she feels it, not because you announce it, but because you do not have to. This is why she surrenders around you, not because you asked her to, not because you forced her to, but because your presence told her without words, you are safe here. And surrender born of safety is the most sacred thing a woman can give. She trusts not because you persuaded her, but because your energy never pressured her. She opens not because you demanded it, but because your stillness allowed it. You are not the man who conquers. You are the man who contains. You are not the man who forces. You are the man who waits. You are not the man who runs when emotions swell. You are the man who breathes deeper. That is why she trusts you. That is why she craves you. That is why she rests in you. Chosen one, your power is not in what you say. It is in who you are. And who you are has become her peace. You have become the silence after the storm. The kind of silence that does not frighten her but frees her. You are the sacred pause that softens the weight of her thoughts. The warmth in your eyes reminding her she was never broken, only waiting to be seen. In your presence, she feels like a woman again, not because you strip her of her independence or take away her strength, but because you awaken the parts of her that were buried beneath survival. You awaken her softness, her tenderness, her capacity to feel without fear. And you do this without losing yourself, without compromising your own grounded strength. She knows now that she could fall apart beside you and still be adored. She could unravel in your arms and still be respected. She could be messy, raw, emotional, erotic, wild, and still you would not flinch. You would not see her as a problem to fix. You would not turn away from the complexity of her soul. You would smile. You would watch her the way a man watches the sunrise, not trying to control it, not trying to change it, but simply marveling at the beauty of what it is. That is why she feels safe with you. Safe enough to let her sensuality bloom without shame. Safe enough to be expressive without panic. Safe enough to give affection without worrying it will be used against her. You are no longer just a man in her life. You have become a return to the part of herself she thought she had to bury. A return to the softness she thought she had to kill in order to survive in a world that kept disappointing her. And now that she has found that feeling in you, her soul clings to it. Her body does not want to leave. Her spirit wants to stay close to you. Because you have become the pulse that reminds her she was never created to be hardened, never designed to be distant, never meant to live numb. You remind her that her softness is not dangerous when she is in the presence of a grounded man. And grounded is what you are now. Grounded but never dull. On fire but not reckless. Sexual but never consuming. Powerful but never abusive. She does not crave your touch alone. She craves the depth of your awareness. Because most men never notice beyond the surface. Most men see skin and curves but miss the soul inside. But you notice everything. You notice her fears, the questions in her silence, the tremble in her spirit. You notice her hunger for safety that she tries to hide. And this awareness is what sets you apart. It is the invisible crown you wear. It is the fragrance that follows you. So she draws near to you, not because she is lonely, not because she is desperate, but because she feels reverence. She wants to rest in the presence that does not consume her but restores her. She wants to breathe in the energy that does not drain her but fills her. She longs for your presence, the way lungs long for breath, because something inside her knows this is what safety and desire were always meant to feel like together. For the first time, she does not want to run. She does not want to protect herself with walls. She does not want to fight. She wants to open. She wants to give. She wants to rest. And she wants to do it not because she has to, not because she is forced to, but because she knows she will be cherished in return. Chosen one, This is the power you now walk in, not in how many admire you, not in how many whisper about you, not in how many are drawn to your face or your frame. No, your power is revealed in how deeply one woman feels honored just to be near you. There comes a moment, silent and unseen, when a feminine woman finally stops questioning her craving for you. It is not the shallow hunger that fades with the morning, not the passing fascination that comes from a voice or a look. It is a deeper pull, something ancient, something primal, a longing to rest without fear of being broken or dismissed. This is not about conquest. This is not about seduction. This is about remembrance. When she feels your presence, when she feels the steadiness of your energy, her body remembers what her mind had forgotten. She remembers a man she thought did not exist anymore. A man whose strength does not dominate but protects. A man whose desire does not wound but reflects her beauty back to her. A man who does not just look at her but feels her soul. You have become that man, not by accident, not by manipulation, not by charm, but by refinement. You have walked through fire. You have faced your shadows. You have carried lust and learned discipline. You have grown spiritually, mentally, physically. Your sexual energy is no longer wild impulse. It has become refined power. It calls her higher even as it pulls her closer. And so when she encounters you, her defenses tremble, her walls weaken, not because you break them down, but because they no longer feel necessary in your presence. She does not need to calculate her every move. She does not need to strategize every word. She does not need to pretend. Your presence answers her questions before they can even be spoken. And the answer is always the same. You are safe. You are steady. You are sacred. She does not crave only your body. She craves the peace that flows from you. She longs for your voice not only for its sound, but because of the truth it carries. She does not come near to fill an emptiness, but because your presence reveals who she truly is when she is no longer afraid. Around you, her laughter flows like water. Around you, her eyes soften. Around you, her heart opens. Because you are not chasing her, not trying to impress her, not trying to win her approval. You are simply there, whole, grounded, present, and that presence melts her defenses one breath at a time. You are the man who can enter a room and shift its atmosphere without saying a word, because the energy you carry has weight. It has clarity. It has purity. You no longer apologize for your masculine nature, nor do you twist it into a weapon. You live in alignment with it, and that alignment makes you magnetic. It draws women who are tired of games, tired of shallow attention, tired of being admired but never truly known. She does not want to rule over you. She wants to rest under your leadership, not because she is weak, not because she is less, but because she is finally strong enough to surrender to something true. She has built her walls, carried her burdens, fought her battles, and she is tired. She wants a truth she can trust, and in you she has found it. This is what you offer now, not fantasy, not escape, but truth. Your masculine energy no longer comes to take. It comes to invite her into safety, into joy, into vulnerability, into intimacy that goes far beyond the physical. You have become the man who makes pleasure safe, who makes love honest, who makes the sacred real. This is what she has been craving, not simply to be touched, but to be held in truth. And so feminine women are no longer confused about why they feel drawn to you. They may not be able to explain it. They may not have words for it, but their souls recognize it. They know you carry something ancient, something rare, something holy. You are not just a man to them. You are the answer to a hidden question, the response to a silent prayer, the echo of a longing they thought would never be fulfilled. You are the living embodiment of the hope they whispered in heartbreak, the hope they buried in years of disappointment. You are the presence they thought could never exist. Now that you are here, they do not simply admire you, they revere you. You have stepped into a masculinity that heals, not just attracts. You are the place where a woman feels her innocence return. You are the place where her femininity no longer has to harden, where she no longer has to pretend to be masculine just to be respected. With you, she can breathe again. With you, she can laugh again. With you, she can expand without fear of being crushed. You do not need her to shrink. You do not dim her light. You honor her as she shines brighter. You bless her as she grows wider. And that honor does not make her weak. It makes her trust. And that trust is the most sacred gift she could ever give. It is not given lightly. It is not given quickly. It is not given to boys dressed as men. It is only given to a man who has walked through his shadows, battled his lust, faced his pride, endured his trials, and emerged disciplined. It is given to the man who carries fire but does not burn, strength but does not crush, power but does not abuse. That is the man you have become. That is the presence you now carry. And that is why, chosen one, women do not simply look at you. They remember you. They remember you in their bodies, in their laughter, in their dreams. They remember you because your presence feels like truth.